Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome on into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of sports. Tonight, Christmas hockey wish lists. What? Mitch Marner news with the Maple Leafs, as well as some contract news for the Oilers goalie. All that and more next on the Neutral Zone. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Adam Karnick will be along shortly. Yes. Lots to get into tonight. Another busy night around the league. Lots of games. I think maybe 10 or so, thereabouts. But before we get into it, as always, we want to thank our sponsors and Patreon supporters. If you too want to become a supporter, you can go to our website, iesportsradio.com, and there you'll find a link. You can click on it, and you can be a supporter of our show for just $5 a month. Normal tiers offer shout-outs on all of our different shows. Higher tiers will offer you merchandise from the station, i.e. Sports Radio, sweatshirts and swag and ornaments, so on. So that being said, we want to thank our supporters, Bay Area Raised, M. Los Great, Key to the Gate, as well as Anonymous. Alrighty, now that the housekeeping out of the way, let's take a look, fly around the league, shall we? Fly around the country. Tonight, let's see. I was close. 8 games tonight, not 10. If it was Price is Right rules, I would have lost. Hurricanes are up 3-0. Over the Devils in the third. Flyers are up 4-2 over the Blue Jackets in the third. Penguins up 2-1 over the Rangers in the third. Maple Leafs up 2-1 over the Lightning in the third. And Senators are losing to the Jets 1-4 in the second. Still to come tonight, Blues and Kraken, Ducks and Kings, and the Battle of LA. And Flames and Sharks, all tipping off 10:30 or 10 o'clock and 10:30 and 10:30. So we will keep you posted on all those games during the show here. Let's see what to get into first. Lots of trouble. We have some contract news. The Oilers, Adam and I had talked last year. We felt like the Oilers had some trouble with their goalie, had some goalie issues. So they have signed goalie Stuart Skinner to a 3-year extension. It's 3 years, $7.8 million contract extension on Monday. The 24-year-old from Edmonton, hometown boy, has a 9-8-1 record, a 2.83 goals against average, and a .915 save percentage for the Oilers this season. He was drafted by Edmonton in the 3rd round of the 2017 entry draft. Skinner has appeared in 33 NHL games with a career 2.82 goal against average and a .912 save percentage. So hopefully that'll help them with some needed defense. All right. This is kind of a pickup from last week, but New York Rangers stopped Toronto Maple Leafs star Mitch Marner's point streak. Jimmy Vesey had 2 goals. Igor Shesterkin made 22 saves. And the New York Rangers beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1 on Thursday night for their 5th consecutive win. Shesterkin improved to 5-0-1 in his last 6 starts and 15-4-4 overall this season. He denied Mitch Marner at 14-29 in the 3rd, ultimately stopping Marner's point streak at 23 games. Vesey broke a tie with 4:27 left in the 2nd period. He added an empty netter with 1:13 remaining for his 5th of the season. Philip Chytil also scored for New York, and Vincent Trocheck had 2 assists. Toronto lost in regulation for the first time since November 11th. It went 12-0-3 in its previous 15 games. The Maple Leafs also had recorded a point in 9 consecutive road games, including 7 wins. Vesey, who won a job with the Rangers out of training camp, skated down the right wing before flipping a high-risk shot past Toronto goaltender Matt Murray in the 2nd. Vesey played 3 seasons for the Rangers out of Harvard before skating for 4 other teams, including New Jersey last season. So he started with the Rangers, now he's back, I guess. Michael Bunting had Toronto's lone goal. Murray made 18 stops. Chytil opened the scoring for New York, netting his 7th on a power play, 3:52 into the game, when he rifled a high shot past Murray. Bunting responded with his 7th at 14:06, tapping a rebound past Shesterkin. Bunting extended his point streak to 10 games. The brisk pace continued in the 2nd as both goaltenders made sterling saves. Murray, let's see. Murray denied a shot from the high slot by Artemi Panarin 7 minutes in. Shesterkin then stopped Austin Matthews' point-blank shot midway through the period. Toronto did have a flurry of chances during a man advantage late in the 2nd, but couldn't solve Shesterkin. The heir to Henrik, indeed. Rangers goaltender stopped Zach Austin Reese 5 minutes into the 3rd, sparking chants of Igor from the Garden crowd, and then smothered a close-in shot by Toronto captain John Tavares at 12:16 of the 3rd. Toronto was coming off 3 home wins, a 7-0 thrashing of Anaheim on last Tuesday, after victories over Calgary and Los Angeles. Following a stretch of 1 win in 6 games, the Rangers started their win streak against St. Louis on December 5th, and then defeated Vegas and Colorado on the road before rallying past the New Jersey Devils in overtime on Monday. So there you have it. In other news around the league, Alex Pietrangelo rejoins the Golden Knights after his daughter's recovery. Golden Knights defenseman Alex Pietrangelo returned to practice Saturday morning after a 9-game absence he took when his 4-year-old daughter became seriously ill. Pietrangelo said he felt comfortable that his daughter, Evelyn, was progressing well enough that he could return in time for Saturday night's home game against the New York Islanders. He said Evelyn came down with the flu over Thanksgiving and then developed encephalitis, which created a lesion on her brain. That caused her to lose her motor skills, including not being able to open her eyes for the first 5 days. Holy crap, wow. Pietrangelo said they tried a course of treatment that a week later eliminated the brain lesion. Quote, I don't want to say a surprise, but that progressed a lot quicker than I guessed the original diagnosis, Pietrangelo said. They can't really give you a timetable when your precious little girl is going to get better. It's pretty scary for mom and dad, so I said I wouldn't go back to work until I feel comfortable when she is at home. With where she is at home. Pietrangelo said his daughter returned home Wednesday from a Vegas hospital, and the next morning said she wanted to walk. We were thinking about that this could be months down the road, Pietrangelo said. Friday, she just kept walking and walking in circles for a full day. God answered our prayers. It's a miracle how much she's come along in the last 48 hours. He said Evelyn still faces months of rehabilitation. His return to the Knights comes as the club is dealing with a series of injuries to the blue line. Pietrangelo is second to Shea Theodore, who is out with a lower body injury, among Vegas defensemen with 21 points. Theodore has 22 points. Quote, it's good for Alex to get back into the group and the mix, Knights coach Bruce Cassidy said. You have to take care of your family first. They're in a better place than they were a few weeks ago. So good for everybody involved and for him to get back out there. We also have some trade news tonight. Well, from yesterday, I suppose. Maple Leafs acquired Dryden Hunt from Avs for Dennis Malgin. Maple Leafs acquired Dryden Hunt from the Colorado Avalanche for fellow forward Dennis Malgin on Monday. Hunt has put up 14 goals and 42 points in 193 regular season games in parts of 6 NHL seasons with the Florida Panthers, Arizona Coyotes, New York Rangers, and the Avalanche. He has 2 goals in 28 games with the Avalanche and Rangers this season. Acquired from Florida for forward Mason Marchment in February 2020, Malgin was held without a point in 8 games in his first stint with Toronto before spending the past 2 seasons in Switzerland. The 25-year-old has 2 goals and 2 assists in 24 games for the Leafs so far this season. Malgin has 30 goals and 64 points in 215 regular season games with Florida and Toronto. Hey, be nice. All right. Well, that being said, we are going to skip over into our first break, and we'll be back. You're listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernick, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the show that never sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Metello, the host of the Yinza Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game with both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' the NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' in NorCal sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
And we're back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Adam Karnick will be back next week. All right, so got some more stories here to get into. More contract extensions. The Kings have signed SoCal native Trevor Moore to a 5-year, $21 million extension. Another hometown kid signing with his hometown team. We already had the guy from Edmonton earlier. Now we've got the Trevor Moore from SoCal signing with the Kings. He has agreed to a 5-year contract extension worth $21 million on Thursday last week. Moore, a Southern California native, acquired in a trade with Toronto in February 2020, is now under contract through the 2027-2028 season. The 27-year-old Moore has 7 goals and 11 assists while appearing in all 32 games this season for Los Angeles, which began the day in 3rd place in the Western Conference. Moore, who grew up in Thousand Oaks, has 107 career points in parts of 5 NHL seasons with the Kings and the Maple Leafs. Toronto signed him as an undrafted free agent out of the University of Denver in July 2016. Moore has grown into a key two-way player for the Kings, who ended a 3-season playoff drought last spring. Moore would have been an unrestricted free agent next summer after making $1.875 million this season. Let's see. Okay, so 5-year contract, $21 million. So a little more than $4 million a year, basically. Up from 1.875. Oh yeah, that's definitely got a raise. So good for him. This is kind of some foreshadowing into something we're going to talk about a little later, but Sabres top Golden Knights 3-2 for first ever win in Vegas. The two have already been tied together because of the Jack Eichel trade. But I guess this is the first time the Sabres have been out there. So, good for them. Ukko Pekka Luukkonen made 41 saves, and the Buffalo Sabres beat the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 Monday night. So, just yesterday. Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Lawrence Palut scored to help Buffalo get its first win at Vegas after coming in 0-3-1 all time. Vegas has been in the league, 5 years now? So, and they've played 4 times, so they've been playing once a year, it looks like, on average. Sabres improved to 6-2-1 in December after going 4-9-1 the previous month, and moved into a 4th place tie with Florida in the Atlantic Division with 34 points. Chandler Stevenson and Riley Smith scored for Vegas, while Aiden Hill made 15 saves. The Golden Knights dropped to 8-9-1 at home. Golden Knights have scored just 11 goals in their last 7 home games, including 6 losses. That's distressing. After a rather pedestrian first period that was filled with heavy hits and heated exchanges, the Sabres got on the board early in the second. Former Golden Knight Alex Tuck skated into the zone with linemate Thompson, strategically trailing to draw the coverage. Tuck sent a pass to the left lane for Skinner, who fired it past Hill to give Buffalo a 1-0 lead at 1:53. The Sabres extended the lead to 2 goals when they took advantage of a Vegas turnover in its own zone. Thompson took Casey Fitzgerald's pass to the circle, dangled around sliding Golden Knights defenseman Nick Hague, and had the patience to wait for Vegas' Phil Kessel to skate by before lasering a shot by Hill at 7:15. Palut increased the lead to 3-0 with 6.5 minutes left in the second when the Sabres won a face-off, and he took Kyle Okposo's pass at the point and ripped a slap shot from just inside the blue line. Vegas had a golden opportunity to get on the board late in the second when Captain Mark Stone skated in alone on a breakaway, but was stymied by Luukkonen. Moments after Hill made a crucial save on Tuck's breakaway early in the third period, Stevenson took a feed from Michael Amadio, raced in untouched on a breakaway, and ignited the crowd with Vegas' first goal of the game at 3:54. Vegas' Smith came close to scoring his 5th goal in 3 games when he skated in for the backdoor one-timer, but was foiled when Luukkonen stretched across to make the save during the penalty kill. Luukkonen made 5 saves during Vegas' power play opportunity. Smith made it up for it late in the third by beating Lekanen through traffic with 2:21 remaining to make it a 1-goal game. Notes on the game. Stevenson's goal extended his point streak to 5 games, 2 goals and 6 assists. The Golden Knights finished 0 for 3 on the power play, failing to score with a man advantage for the first time in 5 games. Buffalo came in with the second best power play in the league, but finished 0-1 with an extra skater. Sabres now host Tampa Bay on Friday. Golden Knights host Arizona tomorrow. So congrats to the Sabres. Things are starting to turn up. You got the Tage Thompson news. Then you got them beating the Vegas Golden Knights for the first time ever. So very cool. That's going to tie into our wish list, actually, which we will get into in a little bit here. One player from each of those teams will be on the wish list. So I won't reveal which 2 yet, but we'll get there. But just to get your juices flowing. All right, let's check the scoreboard. Hurricane. Oh, shoot. That just updated. Just kidding. How about this? Hurricanes beat the Devils 4-1. Flyers beat the Blue Jackets 5-3. Maple Leafs beat the Lightning 4-1. Rangers and Penguins. Penguins are leading 3-2 in the. That game's almost over. Ooh, I wonder if Rangers are going to pull their goalie. The ultimate risk for the ultimate reward. Jets are playing the Senators and are up 5-1 with 3:56 left in the second. And still to come tonight, Blues and Kraken, Ducks and Kings, Flames and Sharks. Oh, man. Okay, now I have to go off on a tangent. I wonder how many times the Sharks and the Jets play each other on a yearly basis. And do they call it the West Side Story Classic? I don't know. So far, they have not played each other this year. But will they? There we go. Haha, March 6th. They're going to play each other. And again on March 28th. And again on April 10th. Yes. Okay, so myself being a Red Wings fan, they're not doing so hot. They're on a 6-game losing streak. They've dropped to 6th place in the Atlantic with 33 points. Most recently lost to the Washington Capitals just a day ago, 4-3 in overtime. Keeping Alex Ovechkin from making more hockey history was little consolation for the Detroit Red Wings after failing to stop their ongoing skid. Nick Dowd scored twice in 11 seconds and assisted on Dmitry Orlov's overtime winner to help the Washington Capitals hand the Red Wings their 6th consecutive loss, 4-3, Monday night, with Ovechkin still waiting for his next major milestone. Quote from Dylan Larkin, "We played much more of our identity, hard to play against. We battled. It was like a playoff game tonight. It goes on to 3-3 overtime. We don't get the extra point. It's frustrating, but we're trying not to get too down on this effort because we feel like it was a positive effort. Detroit has lost 9 of its past 11 and fell to 2-7 in overtime this season. But players and coach Derek Lalonde were almost relieved to escape Washington with a point, thanks to the play of goaltender Ville Husso, who stopped 39 of the 42 shots he faced. 3 of those saves came against Ovechkin, who for a third consecutive game was unable to score his 801st goal and tie Gordie Howe for second on the NHL career list. He remained stuck on 800 with Howe's sons Mark and Marty in attendance and thinking it would be fitting if Ovechkin tied their father's mark against his father's longtime team, with which he played for 25 seasons. Even without a goal from Ovechkin, Capitals will take the victory on Orlov's goal with 21.3 seconds left in a 3-on-3 overtime, especially after playing without winger TJ Oshie and falling behind 2-0. Quote, I thought our guys did a good job handling the adversity, Coach Peter Laviolette said. Eric Gustafsson scored in the third period, his 4th in the past 2 games. And Orlov completed the comeback in a feisty game that included some scuffles and the crowd getting into it. Okay, so I think it's time for our hockey wish list. With Christmas coming up, we figured we would each come up with, 3 to 5 different things that we would wish for, if we were certain teams, either ours or other teams from their own perspective. Let's see. There we go. My first one is fits with the article we just read. Good segue. Red Wings can't buy a win, so maybe they can ask Santa for one. Please. They're on a 6-game losing streak. Haven't won since December 6th. Yikes. Need to get back in gear. So that's my first one. My second one, it relates to the Red Wings as well. Hoping that Elmer Soderblom, one of their rookies, can get into regular lineups and become a regular contributor. He's got 3 goals on the season, 1 assist, and 4 points. So maybe that's like 1 and 1A, I guess. My second one is actually pretty similar. I kind of mentioned it earlier with the article about Buffalo beating Vegas for the first time in Vegas. Oh, yeah, I totally read that wrong. So here's hoping that Jack Eichel can become a regular contributor for the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights are currently first in the Pacific Division. And Eichel is, let's see, his stats. He's got 13 goals, 16 assists, and 29 points. Okay, so then the other person from that same article is on the other side. He's in Buffalo. We talked about him last week and the tear that he went on. Oh my gosh, it's just video game numbers he put up. Tage Thompson. Can Tage Thompson keep his hot streak going in Buffalo? Let's see how he's doing. Okay, Tage Thompson, he's got 26 goals in the season, 24 assists with 50 points. Okay. Going back out west, can the Kraken make the playoffs? They're currently third in the Pacific. If the season ended today, they would be currently projected to make it. And then to touch on something we talked about last week as well, Ryan Reynolds is in the running to buy the Ottawa Senators, or at least it's been mentioned. I hope he does. The NHL needs more star power to get more attention, to get up there with the NFL and some of the other major leagues. Also, Taryn, if you're listening, this one's for you. That the Ducks can get back into some better shape. They've been a little rough this year. They are 9-20-3, sitting at 8th in the Pacific Division. Last week we actually, oh man, it's coming back. Okay, so last Tuesday, wait, was it them or was it somebody else? Maybe it was somebody else. Anyways, they are, so 9-20-3 on the season, and wow, they had a losing streak of 6 games at one point, and then another losing streak of 3 games, followed by another losing streak of 3 and 3. Oh my goodness! To start the year, they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had a 7-game losing streak. Ouch! So, yeah, they need to get back into regular form. Okay, that being said, Adam has a couple here we can partner up with. Adam says he is his wish list for Christmas, for Alex Ovechkin. He wants Alex to get goal number 802. He also wants whatever Buffalo coach the Buffalo coach gave Tage Thompson. Please tell me it's not steroids. Maybe it's that pill from the movie Limitless. And then as well as he wants Lucas Dostal's confidence. Dostal, let's see here, the goalie for the Ducks. He's 2-1-0 for the year with a goals against 3.73 and a save percentage of .898. All right, that's a save percentage. As far as save percentages goes, that's pretty low, Adam. So you gotta help me out here. Is it kind of like the guy who's a 2 trying to hit on the girl that's a 10? Is that what we're going with? Help me out here. All right, my last one here. I've got Chris Letang. So, for those of you that don't know, Chris Letang plays for the Penguins, and he had a stroke this year on November 28th. He returned to practice 10 days later, got back in the lineup Saturday against Buffalo. In his second period against Florida, Letang scored a shorthanded goal off a breakaway to tie it at 1. This was his third goal that he scored since having returned from his stroke, and it helped the Penguins beat the Florida Panthers 4-2 last Thursday. Quote, he has worked hard to get back, especially this quick, Pittsburgh captain Sidney Crosby said. That was a big goal in the game. A shorthanded goal is big, but for him, what he has gone through, it is fun to see him back out there and he's doing his thing. He really did not ease his way into it, and that's the way he likes it. Jake Guentzel scored twice, and Evgeny Malkin added a power play goal for the Penguins. They won for the 7th consecutive time and are 12-1-1 in their past 14 games. Tristan Jarry made 32 saves to win his 6th consecutive start. Jarry is 10-0-1 in his past 11 games. Malkin appeared to have injured his right knee on his goal as he was struck by a slap shot from Crosby. The puck ended up in the net off the post, but Malkin hit the ice and had to be helped to the team's medical room. Malkin has had surgery on his right knee in the past, but both Crosby and coach Mike Sullivan did not think it was too serious an injury. Quote from Sullivan, "It's a funny way to score, but a goal is a goal." The preliminary prognosis is positive, so that's a positive sign. Guentzel scored the go-ahead goal at 12:42 of the period by knocking in a power play shot from Malkin with his skate. He also scored into an empty net with 1:18 remaining. Malkin's goal made it 3-1 as Pittsburgh went 2 for 3 on the power play, as well as he got the shorthanded goal from Letang. Let's see here. Florida coach Paul Maurice said of his team, "I thought 5-on-5 they played their butts off down a guy. It was a sprint game and there was no way to play that other than full out. I thought we did a good job." Panthers were shorthanded as Tkachuk did not play again due to an illness, which has been sweeping through his team's locker room. Captain Alexander Barkov, Anton Lundell, Spencer Knight have all missed games in the past few weeks because they were all sick. Florida was also without Radko Gudas and Chris Tierney, as both are in concussion protocol. Colin White did not play due to an unspecified injury. Pittsburgh forward Jason Zucker continues to be out with a foot injury. Drew O'Connor and Mark Friedman were healthy scratches by the Penguins. Wow. But, yeah, the wish here is that Chris Letang is back to full strength after having that stroke. That's very scary. It's, in the big scheme of things, hockey is just a game, and that could be very scary that he had a stroke. So we're hoping that he's better and that he's back to normal, and yeah, we're thinking about him and his family. Okay, we are going to catch a quick break, and then we'll be back to wrap it up. You're listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, I'm your host, Zach Puplis. All right, one last little bit before we get out of here for the night. Let's see here. Adam has elaborated on Lukas Dostal's confidence. He is a 22-year-old goalie for the Ducks, like we've mentioned. Recently he made 46 saves against Edmonton. Oh my gosh, that's like Superman standing on his head. Holy crap. And that's not just, a normal team. That's Edmonton, like supercharged, Dodge Charger offense. The video game numbers they've been putting up have been wild. Wow, yeah. I mean, the Ducks have had an up and down year for sure, but to be able to beat Edmonton, who's one of the best teams in the league the last couple of years, they beat them 4-3 the other night. That's definitely incredible. Yeah, he stopped 46 shots. Holy crap. So that's on the... Oh, well, we talked about the save percentage. He was .898 on the season. Well, in the one game, he's .939. That's, yeah, wow. That's definitely incredible. They got goals from... Well, the Ducks got goals from Carrick, Fowler, Strom, and Klingberg. And Edmonton got goals from Nurse, Nugent-Hopkins, and McDavid. Whew. Well, there you go, Taryn. I spoke it into existence. How about that? Oh, wait, that was Saturday. Just kidding. But hey, I mean, that's 2 in a row. They strung together 2 wins in a row, so maybe they just got to keep doing it. Okay, whatever they were doing, they just got to keep doing it. All right, so it's just about time to get out of here. We want to thank our Patreon sponsors again. Bay Area Raised, MLOS Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. I want to thank Adam and Larry and Taryn and everybody back at the channel and station. And we're gonna say goodbye for the night. And we'll catch you guys next week. Oh, wait, hang on. See, there was the horn. So it's time to go. All right, everybody. You be safe. Stay out of the penalty box. Don't get checked in the boards. And protect your 9-hole. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.